That's
Thanks,
fine
Michelle.
enough. Okay, thank you for your attendance. I'm sure you all had copies of the agenda. Number 1 is apologies for absence, Michelle.
Yes, Chair, apologies for absence have been received from Anne Morgan, Ian Cathrew and Councillor Julian Amos.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 2 is declarations of interest. Any declarations? No?
No.
Okay, no declarations, thank you. Right, Standards Committee Forum, Carrie, so over to you.
I think we need to do the conference first, Chair. So we've got the Standards Conference on the 9th of February.
Right.
The invitation, has everybody seen the invitation on agenda? Yeah. So what I'm going to say, obviously after today we lose 3 of our members, so it's a last meeting for the 2 of you, and Ian unfortunately can't be here, so that would be the end of his involvement in standards. So for those of you who remain, I think probably up to 2 of you can attend that. They're always interesting, standards conferences, but it is, you know, it's a whole day, so you need to be able to give up a whole day. It's on Teams, so it's a remote access thing. You wouldn't have to physically go, and subject to, I know that the chair has a strong interest in the standards conference, and I'll leave him speak in just a second, but I think probably if everybody could let me know by the end of Monday if they want to go, we'll put your names forward. If I've got more than 2 people who say they want to go, I'll probably draw names out of a hat or something, but we won't have replaced our leaving members, so there's not that many of you. Let's just see how many of you want to put your names forward, and we'll see where we go from there.
Having attended myself twice in the past, I can thoroughly recommend it. It's a brilliant networking opportunity, and you do learn so much more from other authorities. So, you know, I would certainly recommend attendance.
Martin?
Yeah, just to say, Caris, that I've already accepted a place on this conference through my role on the Brecon Beacons National Park Standards Committee. So there's one less person to choose from.
Marvellous. So from the remainder then, any 2 who want to go, that would be fine. Just let me know by the end of Monday. I think I'll probably have to, Michelle, perhaps we can make a note to email Anne directly, because I don't know, she's unwell at the moment, but it may be that if she's better by the 9th of Feb, she may want to go. But perhaps we can just drop her an email and check that with her, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think Anne attended North Wales and found it very useful. So she has attended in the past.
Great. Okay, thank you. So I think that's all on that one, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're back down now to item 4, recruitment of independent members update.
I think my agenda is going in a different order to yours, but
yeah, sorry, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'm
not sure how that is. But if we do recruitment of independent members, then what I can do is just provide an update on that. So we will, after today, have 3 vacancies. We put out an advert, and we've just extended the time for reply to that advert. So I can't give you a final figure for how many applications we have, but certainly it will be at least 11. So we'll do our interviewing, and you'll have to rely on Simon Jones and I, with the willing help of Michelle, to try and sort out some people to join you in the future. But it certainly looks as though we've got some really promising people to choose from. I've had conversations with a few of them, and they have all sounded really impressive. Lots and lots of experience and skills. So that will be our task over the next couple of weeks, and perhaps that just ties into one of the points later in the agenda about the date of the next meeting, because I'm not going to suggest that we fix a date for the next meeting yet. Once we've got these new people appointed, which hopefully we will be able to do pretty quickly, we'll then canvass some dates, but we'll then know who we're trying to accommodate to make sure we get a date and time that suits as many people as possible. So that's the update on the recruitment, Chair.
Good. Isn't it nice to see a big take up this time, because it certainly has varied, isn't it? We struggled last time, and the time I applied we had quite a lot.
Just in numbers, Martin, not in quality.
Oh no, sorry.
Hi.
I forgot you were there. No, I didn't mean that at all. I meant the take up in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what you've got next. Have you got training next, guys?
Jeff, I don't think you can see people's hands up on the screen, I think, because of the way you've joined. So let me just say that Gareth Richards is just indicating he wants to ask us something.
Sorry.
Yeah, basically, obviously, I didn't catch who the ones who are retiring. I know Jeff is, but who is retiring with Jeff?
Ian Cathro.
Yeah.
And David McCarthy in the corner there.
Yeah.
So he's in the corner on my screen. He's not in the corner on everybody's screen.
So we're losing our chair and vice chair then?
We are. So
that's correct, yes.
That's why we're going to need our next meeting to have the new people in it, because you're going to have to appoint a new chair and a new vice chair, and that has to come from your co-opted members. So actually you're going to need all of your co-opted members there so that you can all have a discussion and decide who it is that you want to appoint. Okay.
If I'm chucked off the council, I can come back as a co-opted member, perhaps.
Well, yes, you could, yes. Councillor Tummy. I mean, this is the other thing about the timing, isn't it? Because what we're likely to do is have a meeting, as long as there's nothing controversial about our meetings, we can have it during the pre-election period. So we might have a meeting in sort of March, April time, at which point we will have hopefully our new co-opted members, but we may have elected members who may or may not change from the next council. I mean, assuming you are all re-elected, which we all hope so, you may not be the people who would be appointed to this committee because your group leaders may think they want to use you for something else. So yeah, it is all a little bit, it's not particularly stable, but there we are. We'll do our best.
It's the way the cycle has fallen, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it really is. So we'll do our best.
Unfortunately, a big chunk of members, you know, in terms of the numbers of the meeting, you're losing a third, basically, aren't you?
Yeah, because we appointed you all at the same time, and it's self-perpetuating because we'll then do it again. So we'll appoint 3 people and then we'll need to replace them all at the same time. But there we are. There's not much we can do about that.
Just on clarity, Gareth, with regards to the applicants you've got.
Yeah.
Like amongst those, there could be candidates for the election who may be successful. Well, they would have to relinquish the post then if they were elected.
Yeah. Unless, you know, having been appointed as a co-opted member, if they then became an elected member, they might. I mean, there's all sorts of permutations of it, but yeah, it's just the timing of it. It just makes it a little bit difficult, but there we are. That's the way it is. Chair, you
Martin,
can't.
I can see your hand up.
Yeah, you can. There we are.
Martin,
just checking that we have a slightly mixed bag here, don't we? We have a council term, which is the 5 years for me, and these 3 new elected appointed co-opted members. The Standards Committee will, I guess, serve 5-year terms, I presume. But myself and Anna in a different boat. We run a slightly different timeline, and that's kind of strange. And I wonder whether Caris has thought about sort of just streamlining it all, so we have a whole new committee. I'm not vaulting myself for the chop, I'm saying.
There are all sorts of possibilities around streamlining. For example, what we could do from today is say we're not going to have another meeting of this committee until May, at which point the election would have taken place and we could have our whatever elected members we're going to have, we could have those in place, and it would be a first meeting for those elected members, and a first meeting for the new co-opted members. What I'll need to do, if we're thinking of doing that, is just check how much business we've got to cover in the year. We normally have 3 or 4 meetings in a year, having had this one. And to be honest, we haven't had really heavy agendas for a little while. So there probably is scope to do that, to sort of leave it until June-ish, then we could have one in September. And if we needed another one, we could have that in December. I mean, that might make it a little bit easier to manage. So perhaps if you leave that with me, I'll have a conversation with Michelle and we'll just work out our timescales to see if that's the easiest way to go about it, and then canvass you all. Those of you who are going to remain with us, we'll canvass you for dates later. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Caris. Have you got training next on your agenda?
We can do training next, simply because there isn't any update. At the moment, everybody's a bit in limbo because everybody's focused on elections and all of that. And I anticipate that there will be more information about training once we get into the next administration cycle, and then people will start thinking about training for standards.
Okay, thank you. So what have you got left?
I've then got the Standards Committee Chairs Forum.
All right,
So this is a proposal that has come from the All Wales Monitoring Officer Group. They are suggesting that there should be a forum for chairs of standards committees across Wales. The idea is that it would be a forum for discussion for the chairs and for sharing ideas and good practice. Because chairs are co-opted members, they don't have like a party or a group to fall back on for support. So the idea is that they could group together and provide support and share good ideas between themselves. There is already apparently a Standards Committee Chairs Forum that meets across North and Mid Wales. So the suggestion is that we join that all together. I'm just really looking for views as to whether everybody thinks that is a good or a bad idea.
Well, if I think I mentioned that obviously not with the standards, but I've been involved in a chairs forum with citizens' advice and found it very, very useful.
Yeah, I mean, unless anybody wants to give me any suggestion as to why it might be a bad idea, I would suggest that it could only be helpful, because as chair, I know Jeff has done a really good job for us as chair, but I'm sure it does feel a bit lonely sometimes, because you just, it's about having somebody else who's in the same position and you can just call on them and say, do you know what, how's this going? Are you doing this with it? How would you deal with this? So unless anybody says not, I will say Merthyr Tydfil agrees that this would be a great idea.
Yes,
Absolutely.
good idea.
That's a good idea, really.
Great. So, Chair, that's it on the basis that, as I've already mentioned, I think we'll probably leave the date of the next meeting. And in fact, we've had quite a bit of a discussion about the date of the next meeting, because we'll probably see if we can leave it now until after the election. So we're just back to any other item that you might think of as urgent, if you have anything.
The only item I've got is to thank you all for your help and support. As you know, this is my last meeting. Good luck and best wishes for the future. I hope to see you in some other guys, whatever comes up. Thank you so much indeed. And I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Good night, yourself, Gary.
I'd just like to reciprocate our thanks to you, Jeff, and obviously Ian and David who are leaving us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As
Thank
chair,
you,
you've done an
Gary.
excellent job, Jeff.
Thank
You
you
can
so
see
much.
you're a good, quick as a hard boy. That's what it is, you see. Not originally, but you are adopted.
I'm a newcomer. I've only been down here 30 odd years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
was
much
just
indeed.
going to add
Thank you all very
to
much.
everyone.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, folks.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Then
Thank you.
We'll
Good
be-
luck, Martin. Good luck,